Okay, my friends, another hot topic today. Mud Fossil University. Paul Davies wants to know what is eating the universe. They have all kinds of things that they're thinking about, the Big Bang and how it got created, what was before, what was the after. I would show you part of his video, but they have copyright things against me for showing their stuff, so I'm not going to show that. You can come up here and watch it. It's called What's Eating the Universe with Paul Davies. Now, who is Paul Davies? He is looking into the big question of existence. Paul Davies. And he's at the Arizona State University. Now, I sent him a message, says, your message has been sent. And I sent to him saying, please look into my video of our, mud fossils that show that there's gigantic creatures all over this earth that we've never taken into account before. And how does that play into the Big Bang? And it says Paul Davies, theoretical physicist, as I am, and I'm a material physicist too, a material scientist. I don't do anything that doesn't have some substance behind it that I can present. So he worked for much of his career in astrophysics and cosmology, emphasis on the origin and early stages of the universe, the quantum properties of black holes and the nature of time. He's interested in nature of the origin of life. That's what he talks about a lot in this, including extraterrestrial life beyond Earth and in complex systems generally, which I have shown absolutely did exist. Okay, Professor Davies, if he would look at this video, it's called Danger in the Arctic. Collapse and explosion. They've had all kinds of things collapsing up there because the permafrost is thawing out. And a physics girl, was up there looking into these caves. And this is a very, very serious situation. And I made this video about it to watch out for collapses and explosions, which will be happening very soon. They're happening in Russia now, up in their peninsulas up there. I talked to them 7 years ago, 2015, about their sinkhole problem, because I was the one who was doing the research on it back then. Nobody else was. They just said, oh, they're just nothing. They're just little things that washing down. No, they're not. They relate to our origins. And if that's what Professor Davies is looking into, is our origins, and talking about the Big Bang and where did it all come from and what was before and what was after and is there a God and all that stuff, well, let's talk about it, because I think I have some things to say about all of those topics. And I have material evidence to show, including species that we never knew existed before. They're called no-toes, and they are actually built, constructed. And I'm going to do a video on it because I have them in many stages of deconstruction. And that is a spring-loaded foot. That's the heel of the foot, and the strap that runs up to the bone that would run right up there. That's the saddle. These are springs and not tendons. And I will show you. I've studied this extremely well. It's time to look at things as they really are, and not to avoid them. Okay, so Professor Davies' interest is in our origins. Well, nobody's considered these things, no-toes, before. We have lots and lots of these. And this one is eroded down to a point where that little strap, you see this here? You see the ball, which is the heel, and then the strap runs up to the bone, which is right here. Same thing here. There's the heel, and the strap runs up to where the bone would have attached here. Of course, the bone's gone. These are not supposed to be in here of a foot. We don't have those. We have regular tendons and bones. These have springs, and then they had toes built in, as you can see at the end. And like I say, we have lots of these. This is not something that I can't present lots of. We actually have a whole leg of one. I'm really excited. I'm hoping I will hear from Professor Davies, because this is exactly what he says. His research spans physics, cosmology, origin of life, all kinds of things, extraterrestrial life, everything I am into. Plus I'm into biology and bacteria and all that kind of stuff. Now, he's most interested in the proverbial big questions of existence. I agree. From what happened before the Big Bang to whether or not we are alone in the universe. I have some pretty good answers, and I have some questions as well. And I'd love to correspond with Professor Davies, so I'm hoping he'll respond. I have been put, I know, on academic spam lists. So I'm just hoping that that's not going to be the case here, that he just doesn't get my message. So if anybody does know Professor Davies, just pass this along to him and say, please take a look at Mud Fossil University, Rogers' work on all of these things that you're doing. Same stuff. All right, I love you all. Goodbye. You see this? This is that spring-loaded foot that I told you. There's a spring here, and how this works is this twists up. There's a latch here and a cable that runs around up to this one here. When this twists, it pulls this forward. What does that do? It pulls this into this cavity, into this latch. So it goes click and then click. So you got a double loaded spring and it comes back down. This is the heel bone, literally the heel bone. And this strap would have run right up, just like I showed you the other one. The bone would be here, the strap would run right up and attach to it. And I'm going to show this in great detail and all the microscopic shots and all that stuff. This is not human. That is nowhere close to human. But that's a foot, and it came out of a foot basically like that one right there. And she's got a ton of them. This is not just one. All right, you see this? This is Tish Egerton found a ton of these. And this is the same thing. It has this same sort of thing built into it. This is another one, and that's the whole leg. This is literally a plate that's bolted on. The fleshy stuff is in between. There's springs and latches and cams and all kinds of things in here that appear to me to have been designed and built and then turned biological. That's all I can tell you. It's almost like, 3D printing, and then when it's done, you say, okay, now you work on your own. See you later. Have a nice day.